Hey everyone out there, E3 has finally come, and we've gotten more news on Anthem. This is going to be my first video in a long time, and I thought, why not on a game that I think has an amazing future. For right now, I'm going to stick to the news, but as more information comes out, I'll keep making more videos. As you know, they released a cinematic trailer and a gameplay trailer that left more questions than answers. I actually had an opportunity to go down to EA Play in LA and check out the full gameplay demo and have a much different opinion on the game than I did watching the trailer. First thing though, let's go through what we know. I'm trying not to miss important things, and with these videos they will continue to grow, so let me know in the comments any other things I may miss or things you wish I talk about or whatnot. So let's just jump right in. First off, Anthem is an action RPG. That is completely what they're selling it as, and we shouldn't fight that. It looks like an action RPG, where you take the role of a freelancer. You pilot javelins, which are suits of power armor that let you fly and swim. The javelins also let you survive in the hostile world of Anthem, a world left unfinished by the Shapers. Your primary enemy in the story will be the Dominion, a human nation bent on subjugating the other people. The Dominion believe that they control the tools of the Shaper and bend them to their own purposes. The Dominion are an ancient enemy with a secret in their past. This intrigues me into believing that the world will have plenty of hidden lore. Bioware seems to be living off the mantra of our world, my story. So, our world aspect is that the world is shared across everyone and changes. You will share cataclysmic storms and time of day even with people you aren't playing with. This offers a kind of storytelling that hasn't existed in Bioware games yet, so it's kind of interesting to see what they're going to do with it. The My Story part involves your home base, Fort Tarsis. Here you will talk to characters, customize your suit, and see the results of your actions. Your base is a single-player experience, removing social pressure from those who want to spend time with the characters of Fort Tarsis. This gives you time to interact, evolve, and grow a relationship with these characters. And then not only that, you'll also be able to build friendships. There are reports that indicate that there will be no romance in the game, so a couple people's hopes and dreams have been crushed for this decision. I know, it's a Bioware game, romancing options are always a thing in there, but it seems as if they're trying to make this more of a everyone can play, and not so much as that kind of RPG. I guess we're not going to get our suit-on-suit love. Let's give those javelins a name. We've got the Ranger, the Colossus, the Storm, and the Interceptor. They're telling us that there's going to be a lot more on this in the future, but some basics that we've learned about are you have more than one suit unlocked through the story. You are not forced into a specific suit when playing with others. You can change the playstyle of a javelin by changing its weapons and gear on the javelin itself. You can change the look of a javelin through a separate personalization system. So they do have a customization system, which is for your weapons and whatnot. And then they have a personalization system to make that javelin unique to yourself. We also have confirmation that more javelins will be added in the future. Some more things to note is that you will be having first person at base and third person when you're out and about in the javelins. Each javelin will be able to equip 2 weapons and 2 pieces of gear, which provide cooldown based abilities. Both weapon types and abilities will be javelin specific. Javelins will also have a unique ultimate ability, such as the Colossus's nuke. Ultimate's defensive maneuvers, dodges, and melee abilities are all locked in and javelin specific. So you have a melee attack, but not an equipment slot for it. There will not be any viable melee-only build at launch. That's what we're told. So, all of you who just want to punch things all day, it looks like, unfortunately, we won't have that dream yet. Visual customization is not consumable-based, so that's good. You can create a second character, but javelins can be changed on the fly, so no real need to do that. And there will be a combo system based around exposing vulnerabilities and exploiting them. We saw that in the trailers with the frost grenade and then the laser beam combo attack. Put those giant numbers on the screen. Combo all over the place. I liked it, but the numbering, yeah, that's a whole different story. So what about player and or javelin progression? So progression is something that they kind of are not fully talking about yet. It seems that your freelancer has a specific level and perks that affect all your javelins. That's kind of what we know right now. Hopefully we'll get more information on that later. There are loot drops in the world with different rarities that give you gears and weapons. Loot will be instant based and not shared, meaning what you see is yours. There is crafting in the game. There are top tier gear and weapons that have special properties. Gear is designed to be long chase, giving you a lot of goals. Bioware wants us here for the grind, and honestly, that sounds awesome to me. It just will come down to how the grind kind of lives up to the hype. Will this be something where we can get legendary gear, but then there's more perks that can be added later by doing specific things? Will it be locked away by high-end content, which they call the Elder Game? There's a lot of questions there, and I'm super excited to learn more about it. Hopefully it is something that's very viable in the future. Some questions were answered about the co-op in the game. Anthem is designed to provide a story, while also the engagement of playing with your friends and others. If you're a solo player, they believe that grouping up with other people actually increases the fun, but they're not taking away your ability to play solo, which is always good. It seems as if their big push was that this is not a social game in the aspect of an MMO. This is more of a social game where you can invite your friends. All mission types will have matchmaking, so you can get in a group of 4 if you want. They do use dedicated servers, even when you're playing solo. The shared world requires a connection to maintain that shared experience. You will have the ability to jump into your friend's game on the fly. You will be able to have matchmaking with friends only. You will be able to have matchmaking with complete randos. The game makes it extremely easy to jump in and get a group of 4 going. Are there dungeons or raids? Yeah, there are. Actually, the gameplay with the giant arachnid thing that you saw was a 4-player dungeon known as Strongholds. They will have multiple difficulty levels for better rewards. About Strongholds, they cannot be completed solo, but are not required for story progression. You will need a full squad of 4 to enter these dungeons. There will be matchmaking, so don't be scared of not jumping into this. Now, one big make or break for a lot of people was the inclusion of PvP. They have confirmed to balance the game that no PvP will be added at launch. Before we go in a corner and get sad, really think about how awesome it will be to actually feel powerful in a game when you have powerful weapons and powerful armor. I was a little sad to learn that the news that there was no PvP, but after watching the gameplay, after seeing everything, it kind of didn't make sense to do a PvP kind of matchup yet. I was a little sad by the news, but ultimately happy with the decision. I think I'll make another video based on PvP decision when we learn more about why the decision was made, and or if there's very powerful weapons and armor that just will make no sense in balancing the game. Finally, no pay to win. No loot boxes, and all purchases are cosmetic items that you will see before you buy. Okay, I know everyone's going to get oh no, loot box, or you pay for cosmetics, they still have something classic EA, but this one is not the same. It seems as if all cosmetic items you can obtain in-game. This has been confirmed that if you see something available for purchase, that's just an easy route to get that customization. But it doesn't exclude people. Now, playing the other side of that, how much work will it take me to get that customization? Because, thinking about it on a monetization side, Of course, if something's like $5 and it's going to take me like 50 hours, I don't have that time. But I mean, if you're in it for the long haul, the long grind, then why not? You know, like, it doesn't change the way the game plays. It just makes you look better. So I'm okay with that decision. And for like cheapskates like me, even with $5, I can't part with it from my wallet. Overall, the game sounds super ambitious, but for some reason, I keep looking at that E3 gameplay video and thinking, damn, that did not do any justice for the game. I can confirm that they had only touched the tip of the iceberg with the demo they showed. For some strange reason, the executive order to make those cuts, I don't even know who made that decision, because watching the full gameplay trailer, the full 15 minutes of it, completely changes the outlook on the game. So over at EA Play, we got to witness a live demonstration of the full playthrough of that demo. So what were my impressions on this? The game itself looked gorgeous. I don't know what they were playing at. I should have asked them. They had this giant screen. It was running off of their computers. They were using Xbox controllers. The whole thing looked like it was way above 60 frames. I think it might have been 1080p, but it still looked good. Not 100% sure on that. They took us through the whole demo as the Colossus. And it's crazy to think, but the Colossus was moving slower than what they showed on the first E3 trailer. But then after kind of like side by side watching those trailers, I noticed that in the first trailer in 2017, they had the Ranger just sprinting the whole time. So that was, again, another tech demo. In this one, they were just trying to show off the world. So I noticed that when the Colossus was actually sprinting, he was moving a lot faster than what they showed. And unfortunately, they kept on cutting that out during the gameplay trailer. In the gameplay that I saw, that Colossus was actually moving really fast. And then plus, not only that, the verticality of this game is amazing. The speed that you are flying at is so cool. And the fact that you can just, there's an enemy on the top, there's an enemy on the bottom. You decide, who do you shoot? Do you just stay in the middle and shoot both? It's such a cool aspect of the game, because not only is this kind of like a widescreen experience, but it's like a top-to-down experience as well. There are living animals below you, there are living animals above you, there are enemies in between on the ground, there are turrets above you. There's a whole lot to see and fight. I want to see more of the world. Of course I do. I mean, all I've seen is this lush green environment. It is something you've seen before, but it was cool to see them flying through areas, big monsters, small enemies, diving underwater. Everything just looked so crisp and good. They showed a Storm character who was much lower level than everyone else come into the game later, and it not only showed that you could just jump in and play with your friends, but it also gave this grand illusion that you could jump in at any level and play with your friends. It seemed as if the enemies were still dying. It wasn't level locked. It wasn't like, I'm not sure if it was because it was an early level, but they did say that no matter what your level is, you can jump into any mission and play just as well as everyone else. It kind of made it seem like the guns were kind of like the determining factor on how quickly it was to kill enemies. But they also did state that there are areas when you are free traveling where the enemies are just going to be way above your level and you just shouldn't even touch it. Oh, they kind of showed that too, actually, in the gameplay trailer. That giant beast that they started shooting at that nobody commented on, that's actually a public event. They stated that they weren't a high enough level to take on that beast, so that's why they just kind of skipped that part. But that is a public event. Kind of cool that they showed that off. The fights were very scripted. You could tell that. They did emphasize that there were like more ways to play, kind of in the same stance as that because there's so much verticality and open world that you can kind of go wherever you want. So if you're going to attack an enemy, you can kind of like swoop up behind them, or one person can push forward while the other person comes from above. It just gave a lot of possibilities in the realm of those combo attacks, which was kind of cool. One thing I did notice were that there were a lot of green and red orbs dropped. And when I noticed them picking up the green and red orbs, the green orbs represented the ammo, and then the red orbs were for health. I noticed that health did not regen. I believe it's all based upon these orbs you pick up. So that adds a little interesting difficulty to the map. So I think it adds an extra value of difficulty to the game. Because if you're not consistently getting those orbs, you're not going to be health regenning. Possibly there's abilities, or possibly there is health regen, but at kind of the demo that I saw, it didn't look like there was any regen. Let's touch on the boss fight. So that last part that we saw where they were fighting the arachnid in the gameplay trailer, they actually showed almost, not even the full thing. They showed us going into the stronghold, and they said, in interest of time, they kind of cut through to the end where they actually went against the arachnid boss. It was cool. The final boss was, again, it's a DPS shoot show where you just shoot the enemy, you keep on getting them. He had like these little sacks that were kind of like for like little baby arachnids that you were shooting as like the critical hit area. And it seemed like he was just kind of like dumb at the beginning because he was just standing there kind of attacking everyone as he could. And then when you got to a certain phase, he phased, you got him down 1/4 of his health, and then all of a sudden he's like, nah, I'm out of here, peace. He just climbs up the wall and leaves, and then bursts out all these like little arachnids that are just gonna mess you up. It added those like, you know, kind of ever-changing boss fights, which was kind of cool. Because then you're shooting these little arachnid dudes, getting your health up, getting some ammo up, then he just busts out. And he's ready to just mess you up now. He's like in rage mode. And now he's chasing down like individual people. It was cool. And then with the whole like health regen system, this adds to that. Because now that he's chasing you down, you really need to like bail out. You need to dodge. You need to play your distance. Or you need to have your tank just blocking all this. You need to play smart. It gave that whole like feeling that you just all had to be together. You had to have someone who could play the range game, someone who could play the up-close game. And it didn't make it seem like this is a requirement, but it just showed that teamwork really does work in these aspects. I mean, you could roll in four Colossus deep and just keep on blocking and shooting. Heck, I mean, who's going to stop you on that one? The possibilities really are ongoing. Unfortunately, right when you're like, oh, this is cool, they like cut it out, and then they go into like kind of like a showing the monster screaming because like you got him down to half health, and then it doesn't show what his next phases are. It would have been cool if we could see the full fight, but they do have to save more for ongoing press and whatnot. Overall, my hype was redefined after learning more about the game and seeing it up close and personal. I know not everyone will be in the same boat as I am, but this game really gives me hope for the genre, and I am a sucker for action RPGs, especially those with looter-shooter aspects. I know that there wasn't a whole lot on loot, and even in that demo, there wasn't even any loot that I really saw, but they are saying that they're going to touch on this in more detail as we get closer. I'm going to keep on paying attention to all the articles. If you guys like this video, let me know. You can go ahead, like, and then follow me, because I'm going to be doing more content like this. So, of course, if you want to know more when I'm going to drop this, easiest way is to follow me. If you have any questions or things that you want me to cover in the next Anthem video or any video at all, just leave a comment below. Other than that, thank you so much for sticking around this long to learn more about Anthem, and I hope you all have an amazing day. All right. Bye-bye.